What is up, everybody? Welcome. In this quick video, if you make over $100,000 a year and you're looking to increase your cash flow, you're in the right spot. In this video, I want to show you how to design your own cash flow structure so that you can supercharge your income. My name is Matt Love. I started a company called Cash Flow Architects where I help entrepreneurial-minded people invest in themselves so that they can increase their income, their lifestyle, and their enjoyment of life. So if you're looking to organize a cash flow structure in your own life, pay attention. This video is going to be for you. All right, now let's get started. Now, most people are going to make money through inheritance, a business, or just ordinary income. And what happens is these families put the money in a typical checking bank account. And from the checking account, that's where people make their bill payments. There's three things that you can do once you make money. Okay, number one is you can spend it. Number two, you can choose to invest it however you see fit. Or number three, you can give it away. But typically, before you do any of those three things, money goes to a checking account or a savings account at an ordinary bank. The problem with the bank is that you get typically you get a really low rate of return. It's only FDIC insured typically up to about $250,000. And if you've paid attention to the news in the last few years, a lot of banks have failed, and thankfully the government has bailed some of those billionaires out. I don't know why they get the bailout, but it's happened. Most bank accounts are only insured up to $250,000, and we create this cycle in our lives where our income goes into the checking account, and then we pay our bills and we do our things, and we're forcing ourselves to save the cash. And as the income goes up, it goes to lifestyle. Most people just say, all right, maybe I'm going to buy a new car, buy a new purse, get a watch, and the increased income over time just goes to spending it, and it doesn't go to actually saving the extra money. We're going to fix that. I want to replace the typical bank account with a cash flow reservoir, okay? This is the basis of a properly structured cash flow design. A cash flow reservoir has a few qualities that I want to point out before we go to the next step. Number one, typically you're going to see a higher rate of return than a typical checking or savings account inside of a bank. We have FDIC insurance up to $5 million in these accounts, okay? Most people don't want to keep that much money inside of a bank account, earning very little. However, as your income goes up and it fluctuates, it can all be stored in an area where you're going to be insured up to $5 million before you make a decision with that money. You can set this up so that you pay yourself a paycheck. And as your income goes up, you're no longer forcing yourself to save. In fact, you're just paying yourself the same amount, and you get to choose. Do I want this extra money or the surplus of cash to go to my lifestyle? Or do I want to invest in a cash flowing asset? And here's the cool part. We capture all of the income. All of your income can go into this cash flow reservoir so that you can invest in your cash flowing assets as you see fit. It starts with understanding that structure. So let's look at an example. All right, so here's a quick example. On the left-hand side, you have what we call inflows, and on the right-hand side, we have outflows. In other words, on the left, it's income, and on the right, it's expenditures or money that's leaving. It could be for mortgages or rent or vacation or your fixed expenses. So what happens is you have different ways of making money. It could be ABC company. It could be rental property. It could be a business. But either way, you're going to have dollar amounts coming into your world, a frequency, and then we're going to total all of this up on an annual basis and then on a monthly basis. How much are we bringing in? And then we have the outflows. So maybe money's going to a mortgage or money is going to vacation savings. And we total that up and we have the amount of money that's going to be leaving or the outflow. And obviously the way to increase your net worth and your income is to have more income, more on your left-hand side than on your right-hand side. You don't want to be spending more than you make. So most people understand this. But above $100,000 a year, who's really helping you capture all of these inflows and structuring multiple income outlets by having cash flowing assets? So it starts with understanding what's coming in and what's going out. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit because most people are looking at what they make as income. And unfortunately, ordinary income is one of the highest taxes in the tax code. Ordinary income is not favorable. If you have a high income, you're paying a lot in taxes. And so if you could be making $200,000 a year, but there's a lot of taxes that are going to be due on that income, okay? There's a lot of pressures on that money. Some people are putting money into a 401k or an IRA, or they're buying their own health insurance. So there's payroll deductions that people are seeing. And then after that, there's fixed expenses. You know, the kids got to go to school, the mortgage has to be paid, your rent has to be paid. And so at the end, you have how much left over. Can you really calculate what your savings rate is? Because if your gross income could be around $200,000, after all of these expenses, you might be around $100,000. How much is going to lifestyle? And then how much are you saving? Okay, most people aren't having this conversation. They're just living paycheck to paycheck, where they might be funding a 401k. They might be trying to pay off their house. They don't have anything left over because we're not capturing the income properly. See, the goal is I want to be filling up cash flow engines on the right-hand side. All right, so there's really a couple different tax rates that we can pay, anywhere from 15, 10 to 0. Now, unfortunately, ordinary earned income is taxed as income, and income tax rates, like I said, are quite high as 37%. Okay, I want to generate cash flow in a much lower tax bracket. So there's a couple of ways that we can do it. We have a number of people that are interested in using real estate as an asset. It's appreciating in value. We hope it can generate cash flow before retirement years, and there's tax benefits. Ideally, if you have cash flowing assets from real estate, you should be in around a 10 or even less, 10% tax bracket or even less if you're doing it correctly. Now, some people do like a stock portfolio, mutual funds using Wall Street. I'm not a huge fan of this. I don't touch this for people. But the benefit is that most people inside of taxed portfolio and after-tax portfolio are going to be in like a 15% tax bracket. Most people. It could be as high as 23, but that's for high income earners. And then for people that are looking to earn dividends and getting in that 0% tax bracket, we use life insurance. Life insurance has tax-exempt dividends, tax-exempt cash growth. You have death benefits to take care of the family. Does it grow at a massive rate? No, but it's liquid. So here's the idea. As I invest in these assets that can generate cash flow at a smaller tax rate, what can I do? I can increase my lifestyle, or I can supercharge my ability to go buy more on the right side of this paper. I can buy more cash flowing assets. So I'm supercharging my ability to do that. Let me show you this. In order for me to keep going, I want to describe the problem and why it's so important for people to understand this. Most people, as they make an income, that money gets saved down into a checking account. Okay? Checking account, like we said, it's not earning much. And after all of the bills, after all of the expenses, then they'll put money into a savings account. And a savings account really isn't earning that high a rate of return. Lately, some of these money market accounts have been doing better than others, but it's still not kicking it out of the park. And what happens is this. Over time, if you're doing things correctly, your income should be going up. And most of the time, most people just absorb that extra income in their lifestyle. So as the income goes up, their savings rate does not change. And if they need more in their checking account, it just comes right back, and then they're going to go spend it. And this is what we call the treadmill, where money's just inside the bank, not really doing much for you. Income goes up, but we don't really see an increase in our savings rates because it's a forced savings. Okay? Here's the alternative. We can set up what's called a cash flow reservoir. That's this guy right here. You have a target base amount. So whatever this number is, that's how much money you want in your account at all times. We decide how much you're going to pay yourself, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, whatever your monthly paycheck you want, we'll have that money come out of your account. Okay? That goes to your lifestyle. But everything left over is inside the cash flow reservoir. And the idea is I want to get your ordinary income, if you have rental income, if you have business income, all of the money coming in goes into one account that we can monitor, where you keep your baseline. And then what happens is this: as you have a surplus in cash, you have extra money inside the account. You and I get to have a conversation. Do you want to use this extra money for lifestyle, or do you want to use this money for another cash flowing asset? And we can deposit or look at different options of buying other cash flowing assets that further enhance the money going into my cash flow reservoir. I also get to choose when I want to change my monthly income. So as I increase the cash flow in, I can then increase my lifestyle on the way out. This is a way to supercharge the cash flow. Now here's the thing. This is why I love this. Not only are you getting a higher rate of return than a bank, higher rate of return. You have a $5 million FDIC insured. You have an app on your phone that can connect all of these bank accounts. And here's my favorite part. You get me. I can log in as a financial professional and see where your accounts are. And then you and I can have that conversation of, hey, your surplus or your cash reservoir has a higher balance than what your target is. You want to go do some investing? You want to go buy stocks, bonds, mutual funds? Do you want to go buy real estate? Do you want to look at other outside business investments? Or do you want to take that money into your lifestyle? And so now you have a partner in your world that can help you understand the best financial decision for you at that time. And you can see it from the get-go. Not only do you have the higher rate of return than a typical bank account, it's all on your mobile app, and you can control it all, the inflows and the outflows. So hopefully I did a good job. I kind of flew through all of this. If you want to learn more, feel free. Click the link below. Set up an onboarding call. I don't make any money doing this. I don't make any money setting these accounts up for clients. It helps me, though, because then I can help manage what they're trying to accomplish in real time. I don't need to have the client download PDFs or statements and send things, and we're not starting from scratch each time we talk. We can literally log into your account together and look at what you have in there and make a decision together using the different financial calculators and relationships that we've built over the last 10, 12 years of doing this. So click the link below, set up your onboarding call. Either myself or someone from my team will walk you through how to set up your account. It's an app online, so check your email. You'll get a link to the app from the Apple Store so that you can have that app on your phone, connect all your bank accounts, and go from there. So if this sounds like something you want to do so you can supercharge your cash flow, I really look forward to talking with you because I think this is a game changer, and it's going to change the way that we set up our cash flow structures. It's going to change the way we set up our typical banking. So click the link below, and we'll see you there. I look forward to helping.